Hello students, welcome to my channel Sonali's Bio World. So today I am going to teach about control and coordination. In the previous videos I have already completed the first chapter of biology, that is life processes. So come and we will discuss about the process of control and coordination. So as we know, movement is the characteristic feature of all living organism, and this movement occurs by changing position of body from one place to another place. And this movement is of two types, that is growth movement and non-growth movement. In case of plant, it shows both types of movement. If we see the growth movement, then we can take the example of a seed. When a seed is sown in the soil and it gets its optimum condition, then it pushes aside the soil and comes out as a seedling. And if we see the non-growth plant, in few plants like touch-me not plant, then it shows the non-growth movement upon touching. And some animals also show the non-growth movement. We can take the example of running of dogs and the cow and buffaloes that chew the cud, etc. And this non-growth movement is visible. And the non-growth movement and few growth movements also, they depends upon the environmental changes. So the environmental changes which creates reaction in the organism is known as stimuli, and the reaction of organism to this stimuli is known as response. So here comes two terms, that is stimuli and response. Stimuli is the factor that create reaction in organism, and response is the reaction of organism to that stimuli. So the non-growth movement and all the growth movement, both these type of movements, they majorly depends upon two factors, that is event and environmental changes. So both these type of factor, they trigger the movement in organisms. So to ensure these movements, the animal should possess a well-developed system of control and coordination. So the adequate control and proper synchronization of various body parts to give response to the stimuli is known as control and coordination. So the unicellular organisms, they carry out their process of control and coordination by moving towards or away from the stimuli. And in case of plant, there is plant hormones which are responsible to carry out the control and coordination process. And these plant hormones, they help in growth and movement of the plant. But if we see in case of multicellular organisms, they need a specialized type of cells, tissues and organs to carry out all the process of control and coordination. So in case of multicellular organisms, the process of control and coordination, it is carried out by, or it consists of three steps, that is nervous system, endocrine system and the sense organ, which is only a small part of this control and coordination process. So first come to the nervous system. The nervous system, it includes the nerves and neurons. The endocrine system, it includes the glands and hormones, and the sense organs, they includes the sense organs. So the nervous system in animal. The nervous tissue and muscular tissue they carry out the process of control and coordination in case of animals. And this nervous system, they consist of a specialized type of cells, and those are known nerve cells which are known as the neurons. And these neurons, they aggregate and they forms the central nervous system, which comprises of brain and spinal cord. And these neurons in the nerve cells are there, they serve as the link between the central nervous system and the different parts of the body. So the neuron, it acts as a receptor which take the stimuli and it send to the sensory nerve. Then the sensory nerve pick the stimuli and it send to the effector, and the effector, it shows it action. So here comes the two terms, that is the receptor and the impulse. So the receptor, these are the specialized type of cells which receive the stimuli from the receptor cells, and these receptor cells are the nerve cells. So we can take the example that when we touch a hot object, then we draw our hand. So these receptor cells, they pick the stimuli and they send to the brain, and again the brain, it gives the information through the effectors and it shows the action. So then come to the stimuli. What is stimuli? Stimuli is an electrical signal which moves along the surface of the nerve fiber and are also helps in the transmission of information. And this impulse is of two types, that is sensory impulse and motor impulse. The sensory impulse, it is carried by the sensory nerve and it carries the impulse from the receptor nerve cell to the central nervous system. And the second one is the motor nerve cell, and this motor nerve cell, it carry the impulse from central nervous system to the effector and shows the action. And there the receptor sensory organs or the sensory nerves, they are of different types. So these are the sensory receptors. The photoreceptor, which is present in the eye and it detects the light. Then the phonoreceptors. These receptors are present in the ear and it detects the sound. Then the gustatoreceptors, which are present in the tongue or on the taste bud of the tongue, and it helps in it gives the taste of the food. Then come to the statoreceptors. These statoreceptors are also present in the ear and they also helps in maintaining the equilibrium of the sound. Then come to the thermoreceptors, and these thermoreceptors are present on the skin and they help in or they give the sensation of hot and cold. Then come to the tangoreceptors. The tangoreceptors are also present in the skin and they give the sensation of touch. Then come to the olfactoreceptors. These receptors are present in the nose and they helps in the detection of smell. Then come to the pain and pressure receptors, and these receptors are also present in the skin and they give the sensation of pain and pressure. So these were the types of sensory receptors. These receptors, they pick up the stimuli from the receptor nerve cells and they pass or they transmit through the sensory nerve cells through the motor nerve cells, and again the motor nerve cell, it send it to the effector organ and it shows the action. Then come to the sense organ. We know that there are 5 sense organs, that is eye, ear, nose, tongue and skin, and these 5 sense organs, they contain the sensory cells and they pick up the stimuli and they send to the brain, and again the brain, it gives or it suggests us to become the aware about the sensation. And the senses and the sensation like the touch, cold, smell, sound, etc. This sense organ gives response to these 4 types of actions. So, in this introduction part, I took that the receptors the sensory receptor, they take the stimuli and it send to the CNS, and again from the CNS it take the information to the effector organs, and these effector organ, they show the action. And these effector organs, they may be the cells, tissues, organs and some glands and muscles also. So in the next class we will study about the structure of neuron. So thank you for today.